Bike tour. My name is Vincent. I'm here with Kevin and Taeyong on the camera. We're going to be riding here in Seoul. It's a nice fresh 23 degrees centigrade, 73 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's nice and cool. It's going to be a really chill ride on our e-bikes. Let's check out the city.
What day is today?
Oh, today is Friday. Friday is it the 17th or the 18th?
20th of August.
No, 20th. I'm way off. Friday the 20th of August.
Yeah. Maybe the last video was 3 weeks before?
Yeah, it was a lot hotter back then, wasn't it?
It was very, very hot.
What would you say? Can you remember the temperature? It must have been around about 30 degrees.
33,
Yeah.
even to the nighttime.
So yeah, looking forward to this ride. It's going to be much cooler.
How
Also,
in South Korea, do you see?
It's things are not that great. Yeah, I don't know. Do you know the official figures for
Around 2,000 to nationwide.
2,000 new cases?
500.
It's 500 new cases in Seoul.
It's like US is not decreasing, it's increasing these days, but
Yeah.
it's better than other countries.
You've had your vaccine though, haven't you?
Yeah, Janssen.
So you were lucky because you got yours early, but the rest of us who have to wait for the mass vaccination program, I'm just getting my opportunity now, and I think majority of people of my age group are getting their opportunity now.
Did you apply it?
I did, yeah. I've got mine in a week's time. So I'm either going to get the Moderna or the Pfizer. That's right. Those are my, not choices, but that's what's going to happen.
All right, this is current South Korea situation. Hope to see you soon, anytime. All right, let's go.
Okay. So where are we going first, guys? Let's head to the palace.
Palace.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, turn my e-bike on. Woohoo! This is Gyeongchan River bike lane. It's on the left side of the road. Well, my back tire is a little low. You have public pumps in the street that we can use to inflate our tires. If we get lucky, we'll spot one of those. Shall we? Well, sometimes we have issues with air pollution in Seoul, but these days it's been clear blue skies and low air pollution, good air quality. It's fantastic. Perfect for riding. Oh, it's such a nice day. Perfect. What you're seeing ahead there is behind that temporary wall is Gwanghwamun Gate, the main gate of Gyeongbokgung Palace. That's where we're going. Can you see the city wall on the mountain there? Yeah, that's the one. We're gonna go see that wall. Oh, let's make a move. What did he say?
The sign, the car number, is covered by the newspaper.
Ah.
Always requesting
So here I am riding alongside. It's always a privilege I always feel it's a privilege to be here, to be able to ride along this city wall, palace wall, of Gyeongbokgung Palace, which was, well, the Joseon Dynasty was established in 1392, so yeah, it was the first palace to be built in the city, the oldest palace in the city. And Kev, let's see if there's a pump over at the station. And it's also the biggest palace, I believe, in the city. I can see the pump underneath the tree over there. I just don't know if it's going to fit. What time have you got?
7:30.
7:30 a.m.
Nothing but very traffic jam right now.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's getting there. Probably peaks around about 8 o'clock.
Around 8
Yeah.
to 9.
So what we're doing now is we're crossing over this road to go to a city bike station and find a pump, bicycle pump. The city bikes here in Korea, in Seoul, are known as daringi. What does daringi actually mean? It's a sound, isn't it? Uh-huh.
We have a famous song about bicycles. It means like ring the bell time, and move away the bicycles on the road.
See.
Actually, Darangi's had a name competition, so he's won it.
Oh, right. I didn't realize that. Yeah, let's cross over. So there was a name competition And Daringi was the name selected for the Seoul City bikes, which you can see just over there. Those are the Seoul City bikes, these green ones. And I want to pump up this tire with this pump, but unfortunately this is not the right connector. Oh dear. I don't know if it's working actually. Anyway, no jam. Okay, it's all right. The tires. I'm a little low, but I think we'll cope. We'll be okay.
Alright, let's continue.
So the Microsoft building that we see over in the distance there, the big glass building, I heard was one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive building in Seoul.
Not most expensive,
No.
but these days, most expensive real estate is still Myeongdong area.
Myeongdong.
Have you been in there recently?
I haven't been to Myeongdong since the COVID pandemic broke out.
If you've been there, it's very feel bad or sad, but most of the store, lots of cosmetic stores are closed, and it's very empty, vacant space, and it's still not recovered.
Well, Myeongdong is a neighborhood that, well, I feel it's a neighborhood that relies a lot on tourism.
It was.
So, let's go. Yeah, Myeongdong is a very famous neighborhood, not too far from where we're riding now, that was visited by tourists. It was a must-go-to spot in the city for tourists, and the streets were always crowded with, well, locals and tourists alike, but shopping and cosmetic stores. It's famous for cosmetic stores and restaurants. And as Kevin said, it seems like that neighborhood got hit particularly hard during this COVID period because tourism dropped 95% in Korea. Okay, we've just ridden past the beautiful West Gate. We'll do a U-turn here. And get a better look at the West Gate of the palace on the way back. Okay. There it is. We're entering into the West Village. The West Village is the neighborhood on the west side of the palace, Gyeongbokgung Palace. And it's lovely and quiet. Lots of art galleries and small back alleys. Let's take a look down this one. So as I mentioned, the West Village is a residential neighborhood. It's really peaceful and quiet. I mean, sure, it's what 7:30 in the morning, so I should probably keep my voice down. Still, it doesn't feel like we're in the middle of a metropolitan city right now. We've got chilies here. Let's see, there's one. And this is a grape. See all the grapes up here? I'm guessing this is fennel or something like that. It's a weed. Beautiful flower. And we've got these traditional homes as well, known as the hanok. We'll be seeing some hanoks later on in the tour as we pass through the very famous Hanok village. Someone's got a delivery. It always amazes me how the deliveries will just be left outside and you order. That will have been ordered before 7 o'clock yesterday, and if you do that, the delivery arrives in the morning before you wake up. Not all the time, but it's common. Delivery service is quite incredible here. The traffic. That's Kevin. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour. Next off, we're going to go straight ahead and up the mountain ahead of us to see the city wall. Should we just go straight? Let's just go straight today. Sometimes we make a right turn there and check out another little spot. But if you want to see that, you have to look at our other videos. Today we're going straight. Taeyong, can you see Bukhansan? Bukhan Mountain over there? No, Bukhansan, yeah. I don't know if you can see it from your position. All the way down at the end. There you go. If you ever come to Korea, I hope you find the time to take a hike up Bukhan Mountain. It's really beautiful up there. Some fantastic views over the city. And today, we'll be riding up Inwang Mountain. Which is a much smaller mountain than Bukhan's mountain, of course. But it's one of the peaks around the city that the city wall runs over and 지나갑니다. Acts as a protecting, like geographically protecting the city from invaders, I guess. Hey, we're just popping out the other side of the neighborhood now. Which will take us past the library. That's the library over there. And up the mountain. So this is Jongno Doseokwan. This is Jongno Library. And in that little building there is where you can return your books. Well, traffic. No, why is this? Ah, the school.
All the passenger is the kids, middle school student or high school student. School is very near around here.
I see, I see. VVIP. That's a busy morning. We're the only ones relaxing. I've never seen so much traffic on this road. I guess we just don't ride at this time usually. Still, relatively speaking, it's still a lot less busy than the other streets in Seoul right now. It's rush hour, so you'd expect to see more cars. So I'm cruising up here at 11 kilometers an hour, which is a little slower than I'd normally go because my tire could do with a little bit more air. But thanks to the e-bike, I mean, I'm pedaling, I'm exerting myself a little bit. It's not as difficult as it would be without the electricity, that's for sure. I'm a bit of a purist. I love riding and I love my bicycle and I ride it as much as I can. And I didn't like the idea of having an electric bike, an electric function. Somehow it just didn't seem. I don't think it is. I mean, it kind of. I don't put it in the negative light anymore. Really heavily. Just want, I mean, it's lovely. It's lovely to be able to easily come up here without too much exertion. But then you still do have to pedal and ride. That sensation. Throughout the summer, I commuted some days on the e-bike. You know, you're going to get to work sweaty no matter what, and no matter what you do in the summer in Korea. You know, 30 degrees in a dress shirt. Yeah, you're going to be sweaty. But riding the e-bike on a hot summer's day in your work clothes really wasn't a problem at all. It wasn't taxing. It wasn't any more hot than you'd be walking. Certainly much faster. Okay, why are we stopping here? Well, let's have a look. This is the way. This is the Seoul City Wall. It's called Hanyang Dosong. Hanyang being the name of the city of Seoul before it became called Seoul. And this wall extends about 18 kilometers around the old city. It goes over this mountain, the mountain you see in the distance there, which is Namsan Mountain. You can see the Seoul Tower on top. And then it extends around to the east side of the city, Naksan. And then it extends to the north side of the mountain. You might remember that pointy mountain behind the palace, Bugaksan. We're going to be seeing that in more detail later on. And that inside of that area, that small area, would have been the city of Hanyang. Of course, modern day Seoul today extends much further south. Let's see if we can see south of that mountain and the city wall, how far we can see it out here. All that over there is outside the city wall. It's now still in modern Seoul, and we're looking well over the river in the middle of the city today, the Han River, extending out that way. Well, we should get a better view from the next spot, which is a wonderful viewpoint, panoramic view, just around the corner. Let's go check it out. Yeah. You ready to go, guys? I'll race you. Who makes the Genesis?
Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Hyundai. These days, even the youth are considering to buy a Genesis rather than a foreign car. Like compared to BMW or Audi or Benz,
Yeah.
the quality is almost very good, very luxurious. The price-wise also comfortable, and it's one of the youth trend buying some Genesis.
Ah. So Genesis is the car to go for. You heard it here first.
Why, do you want to buy it?
If I could afford a Genesis, I'd buy a lot of bikes. Yeah, I'd say the majority of cars that you see here, Hyundai, Kia, Samsung, they're domestic. You do see quite a lot of international cars. It's usually Audi or Mercedes-Benz, or what's another one? Volvo. Volvo is somewhat, you see them around. You know, the fancy cars, like Maseratis and Ferraris, Lamborghinis, you see them from time to time too. Follow me. There's a lot of walkers today. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. It's so busy today. So many people. Is it because it's Friday? Oh, it's because the weather's nice, right? It's because the weather's nice. So this little spot here, it's a bit of a detour from the main path, but it's worth it. And you'll see why. The spot's called Mumude, which means a place with nothing, I guess. And you can see immediately that that name was given ironically. There's a lot to see here. It's kind of getting a little cloudy out there, but you can see the Namsan Tower in the distance. If you look past the Namsan Tower, to the far distance you see the south of the river, and over there, that tall building in the distance is the Lotte Worlds Tower, and that is south of the Han River in Chamsil. And then over here, Bugaksan. Bugak Mountain is the mountain that represents the northern extent of the original Hanyang, city of Hanyang. The city wall goes over the top of that. So on the far side, we're looking at Songbokdong. Songbokdong would have been outside of the original city of Hanyang, and it's not anymore. It's well in the city of Seoul. Let's have a look at Buamdong. It's just the next stop along this road. Buamdong is famous for being a location, a site where the very famous film Parasite was filmed. So we'll check that out. We'll also look at one of the smaller gates in the city wall. And I'll point out a very famous coffee shop, and then we'll go down the mountain back into the city and ride past the presidential blue house, which unfortunately we won't be able to film in too much detail for security reasons. Okay, get ready for a good ride downhill. You got to go up a little bit more, and then there's a pretty cool downhill into Buamdong. Here it is. Oh, I got a mosquito bite. There seems to be more mosquitoes this year than I remember last year. From last year. Wow. Check out ahead of us. See the mountains? That's the Bukhan mountain range. Beautiful.
Very clear.
Yeah. It's funny when you look out to the east, it's not so clear,
Yeah,
but
it's not
out to
clear.
the west, it's
West
blue
and north.
skies. Okay. Follow me, Taeyong. We are going to check out a small gate in the city wall. And as we walk past this building, we'll take the opportunity to check out this old view of the gate, the wall, and actually the building that we're in front of, which is here. You'll notice with these buildings opposite are all thatched roofs, whereas this one is tiled. Thatched roof houses, we're talking like the early 1900s here. Thatched roof housing was a lot more common than tiled roofs. You had to be quite well off to have tiles on your house. Come on through the tunnel. This is the road that we were on earlier. We just went over the top. There it is, Changimun. The name of this gate is Changimun. It's written at the top there. And as we walk through the gate, you'll see these creatures, chickens, painted a mural on the roof. They're there to protect the gate protect the city by catching all the bugs that go through the gate. So here in Seoul, all these historical sites have all this awesome information, which gives you, tells you a little bit more about the history of the gate. Changimun is the northwest gate between Mount Inhwang, which is the mountain we just rode on, and Mount Begaksan, which is the pointy one behind the blue house. It's the only gate, excuse me, it is the only gate amongst the 4 small gates whose pavilion has survived to the present day. So we're talking about the pavilion at the top there, the wooden portion of the gate. This pavilion was destroyed during the Japanese invasion of 1592 and was rebuilt in 1741. Changimun is now also known as Jahamun, since the scenery around the gate seems similar to that of beautiful Jahadong in Ge,
Gyeong.
Gyeong?
Gyeong.
Gyeongyong? Is that how you pronounce it? I have to look at the Korean.
Gyeong.
I don't know.
Gyeong.
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 Gyeong?
Sorry. Gyeong.
Okay.
Gyeong. This one.
Gyeong. Okay. Sometimes the romanization of Korean names makes it more difficult. The capital of the Goryeo dynasty. Ah, I see. Okay. Pretty cool. And that's where we are on this city wall right here. Right. Well, let's head over to. It mentioned in the information that this gate's also known as Jahamun, and below here, below this neighborhood, is a tunnel called the Jahamun Tunnel, which happens to be one of the locations where the movie Parasite was filmed. So let's go and check that out. It's just down the way. Oops. Okay. So, if you've seen the movie Parasite, 2019 movie Parasite directed by, is it Bong Joon-ho?
Yes.
Directed by Bong Joon-ho. You may remember a scene in the movie where the main characters are running down some steps, and it's kind of representative of this this low point for those characters in the movie. They're going down the steps, it's raining, everything's going wrong, and the movie Parasite often uses levels, like physical levels, to represent the status of people or the condition of people. And so in this point in the film, where they're running down these steps, it shows that these people are in their lives. Got a lot of attention around the world. It won many awards, it won Academy Awards, and I think it's, yeah.
This building is a rooftop, so
This
there
one?
is- this one.
Yeah?
This one.
Yeah?
So there is where is it? So rainy scene into Kisaengchung.
Yeah.
Parasite. This rooftop. So from what is that? The film shoot. So
Okay.
yeah.
So the camera was up on this rooftop?
yes.
And they shot down.
Yes.
Ah, I see. Huh. So Taehyung just let me know that this building is where the shot was filmed from. Like the camera crew was on the rooftop here, and they were shooting down over this this ramp. This is a road up at the top of there, shooting down over the top of this ramp at the scene on the other side, which we'll be able to see when we go through here to the Parasite Photo Zone. Right. And here it is. These are the stairs that the characters ran down, escaping from their unfortunate circumstances, but actually running into worse circumstances at the same time. It was the low point in the movie, shall we say. It's black comedy, dark comedy. So these bands, these lines across the glass zone, they are mimicking the poster. So there's the black bands across these two characters who are family, that's father and son. And there's the white lines across this rich family here, it's eyes, mother, father, and their son. I don't know the different, I guess the different colors may represent different social classes, or it may represent different families. You can decide. All right, well, let's head back up. This little ramp here, kind of a side note, but this ramp that's off to my side is really handy for a cyclist. You don't have to pick your bike up when you go up those steps. You just roll it up the ramp on the side. It's a really cool feature, very simple feature that you see quite often in Korea in subway stations and, just steps around the city. I put a little ramp on for bicycles. It's really thoughtful. Don't know what this is. Spearmint, I think. Pop that in your mask. That's fresh. Again, we've got the love how you get these little gardens by the side of the road. Look at that, bursting with chilies. What we don't see is that on the rooftops of many of these buildings, rooftops are flat, there'll be little rooftop gardens, growing not flowers, but vegetables and stuff to eat. Lettuce, tomato. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back and get my bike, and it looks like Kevin's parked up here, so I'll meet you in just a moment. Let's meet at the top. Hi again. Looks like my bike's been moved. Okay, let's go. So we saw the gate, as I promised, and we saw the Parasite photo zone. I did also promise you a coffee shop, famous coffee shop. Well, it's somewhat famous, and we'll be passing it in just one moment. Oh, there you go. You see it on the left-hand side of your screen there, Club Espresso. This is a place where many cyclists will stop by on their way up, climbing up the mountain here. It's also a spot that supposedly the president of Korea, current president of Korea, Moon Jae-in, President Moon, was supposedly would come here when he was a young man to enjoy a coffee before he was president. So if you were to go in there, you can buy a special blend of coffee called the Moon Blend, which is in his honor. It's a cool coffee shop. It's got it's an interesting interior. It's quite unique with lots of woodwork and handmade decoration. Here we'll be whizzing down this hill back into the city and enjoying the view on the way. At this point, we'll be passing the presidential Blue House, so we won't be filming in too much detail at this point for security reasons. But I'll describe to you what's going on. Very good at that. So we're riding on a bicycle lane, which is really awesome to have. A really awesome symbol here to have a bicycle lane right in front of the presidential palace. So the street is lined with trees, and Korean flags on every street post, lamp post, and there's a lot of security around. And security is wearing flannel shirts. So at first glance, you might just think there were, apart from the fact there's a lot of guys milling around in the same shirt, you might, if you just saw one of them, you might just think they were tourists, or they're dressed very casually, but I'm sure they mean business. As we move further along the street, you'll see the security guards in front of, at certain checkpoints, are very well armed with machine guns of some sort and a military uniform. But the atmosphere here isn't one of intimidation. It's a lovely street with flowers and trees, and as I said, a bike lane. And we're always welcome to ride along here. Bye. Now here on the east side of the palace, if we were to continue straight along, follow this wall, we'd get to the east gate of the palace. And this neighborhood is known as Bukchon. Bukchon is famous for its Hanok village, the traditional Korean home, which we will be visiting next. It's also famous for the MMCA, just over there. Taeyong, how's the sound? Is sound okay? So the MMCA is the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, and it used to be hospital and military Ministry of Defense building. Today, the use of the building is a modern art gallery. I believe I'm right in saying that it's probably the largest and most famous, most renowned modern and contemporary art gallery in Korea. To my knowledge, there's two locations. There's one here and one out, kind of further out of the city. Sorry, what?
First class just started. I heard the ring. School bell? School bell.
School bell. Yeah.
School bell.
지나가겠습니다. 안녕하세요. Bicycle terror. So just around this corner here and up this hill, and we're entering the Bukchon Hanok village, famous for its traditional Hanok housing. Now, you'll notice when we get up there that the Hanok houses, here's one just on the corner. They don't have...
Bukchon real estate prices is not increasing as much as other places. During Gangnam was increasing more than 40%.
In what kind of time period?
2 years.
2 years.
Bukchon area started increasing more than 10%.
In the same period of time?
Yeah. So it may be influenced by COVID-19. Also, trend to people who was very light.
Right.
Staying in-
Preference of the
Yeah, preference of
people.
staying in a Korean house doesn't much that higher than before.
And it's not that attractive to the average Korean to live in
I mean,
an old Hanok, I guess.
generation has changed.
Right.
The youth doesn't like it.
Okay.
But still can find the beauty.
Yeah, I think everyone can appreciate the beauty and history in this architecture, and quite the genius in it as well, especially the underfloor heating system, which dates way back and is really integral to the design of the building. The floor has a cavity in it that hot air and smoke from a fire outside or on one side of the building would be blown through. Not blown through, but drawn through by the chimney on the other side of the building. And that keeps the house nice and warm in the winter by heating the floor, which is pretty cool. As Kevin was saying, this style of housing is maybe not ideal, certainly not the preference of the majority Korean people this generation. Parking is an issue. And in terms of like land use, you can fit a lot more in an apartment building. In terms of like land efficiency, I guess. But if you ask me, I would prefer to stay here in this peaceful neighborhood. It's beautiful. So Gangnam is kind of, you can just make out the Lotte Oil Tower again, south of the river. Gangnam is not too far away from that. Gangnam literally means south of the river. And that area south of the river is, I mean, it used to be, way back when, it used to be like fields and watermelon fields, but now it's some of the most expensive real estate in the whole country. Kevin said in the last 2 years, the real estate prices there have gone up by 40%, which is incredible. Whereas this neighborhood only increased by 10%. However, Korea being 70% mountains and the area of Seoul, the land available in the city is limited, of course. So land prices are very steep, regardless of where you go in the city. It's an expensive city to buy in. So you'll see the Hanok houses they're not colourful. When we saw the royal gates and the gate to the city, they're all quite colourful. They're decorated in blues and greens and yellows and reds. The only colourful buildings, traditional-wise, are the temples and anything associated with the royal family. These are not. These are just regular homes.
Gentleman fully vaccinated by AstraZeneca. He was planned to go to having a business trip in China.
Uh-huh.
But he's very disappointed this situation, COVID-19 situation, and complaining. I just extended the passport, but haven't using more than 2 years. Wasting the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've one of my friends from Europe has come to Korea and is currently staying here. But his original destination, where he hoped to be, was China. Of course, he can't go to China to study Chinese, so he's come to Korea and he's studying Chinese online. He's attending a Chinese school in China, in Beijing, online from Korea. And of course, in order to come to Korea, he had to do his 2 weeks quarantine, even though he's been vaccinated. He did a 2-week quarantine.
2-week quarantine.
That's right.
Wow. All right. Safety is the first.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, make a right. Okay, we're going to make a left turn here and check out what's in the back streets. I didn't mention, but we just rode past an ex-president of Korea's house, Yoon Bo-sun. And Yoon Bo-sun was he the second president?
Oh, Yungo-san?
Yeah, I think he was the second. I have to fact check that one. The current president is Moon Jae-in, and our next election is
Next year, April. Or
next year, April. I believe you can't do 2 terms in Korea.
Yes.
So Moon Jae-in will be out, and should we cross over? And we'll have a new president. That'll be one to watch. 안녕하세요. Welcome to Insadong. This is a market street next to between the 2 palaces, Gyeongbokgung Palace we went around earlier, and Chandokgung the palace that's to the east of here. And this market just south of Bukchon Hanok village is famous for antiques and also Korean cultural souvenirs. These days tourists will come here and enjoy Korean food and get themselves a nice souvenir to remember their experience by. 광성교? What you're seeing in your screen right now is Jogesa Temple. We're going to briefly pass through. We'll pass through Jogesa. It's really beautiful right now with the lotus water lily. So we'll pass through there and I'll give you a brief introduction, and then we're going to head back to where we started. Jogaisa is a Buddhist temple, and it's maybe one of the most important ones in the country because it's the center of the Jogae order of Buddhism in Korea. I see all the lotus flowers in bloom. As we go in, I do like coming to this temple. It's very peaceful. It's just like going into the West Village. You know, there's that moment where you turn that corner into an alley and it feels like you've stepped out of the city. This is also a space like that where it has that magic, where you just go through this gate and all of a sudden it feels like you're no longer in Seoul. You might be on a mountain somewhere, mountain temple. So that tree in the foreground that you see there, that's a white lacebark pine. And it's well over 500 years old. Beautiful organism, beautiful creature that will get whiter and whiter as it goes older and older. So when the tree's young, it's like a browny gray, and as it gets older, the bark becomes white. This one ahead of me is about 300 years old. This is I believe is a Sephora, I'm not entirely sure. It was donated to the temple by a Chinese scholar. And people will come up to this tree and touch it. So if you were to touch the bark here, it's very smooth from all the people who've been touching the tree and offering prayers. The interior of the temple itself shows actually 4 Buddhist statues. Actually, there are many images of Buddha in there, but the predominant ones are the 3 large gold ones, and there's a 4th small one on the far right hand side. The 3 large ones represent benevolence, forgiveness, and health, and the final 4th smaller effigy is a symbol of hope, Buddha of the future. You've got the drum and the bell, that's you'll see in all Buddhist temples, and of course the symbol at the top, symbol of Buddhism, which is not to be confused with the Nazi swastika. It's the other way around, I understand. Around the back of the pagoda here is where people will light incense and offer prayers. And the aroma here is just, it's lovely, you know. Definitely has a holy feeling to it. The incense is free. You just help yourself to a couple of sticks, actually 3 sticks, and you light your incense at the candles here. A special place. Well, I'd love to stay here longer, but we should make a move. So let's head on to back to our finishing spot. Okay. 지나가겠습니다.
단빵 올라오는
Now we're back on Jongno. This street is called Jongno, which means Bell Street. And we're riding along the bike lane. If we were to continue straight ahead, we'd end up at the Eastgate Market, Dongdaemun Design Plaza, that side of town. But we're going to take the corner here at Jonggak Station and head back to the Cheonggyecheon River, which I spoke a lot about the Han River, which is the main big river that runs through modern Seoul. Well, Cheonggyecheon River was the main big river that ran through the original city of Hanyang. It's an important river. Part of the reason why the city is here in the first place. So back on our Cheonggyecheon River bike lane. The river's just down the way there. And we're going to end the tour where we started on Gwangtong-gyo, which is Gwangtong Bridge. Should have been one of the main crossings on the main river in Hanyang back in the Joseon Dynasty. Awesome. Welcome back. Well, thanks for joining us on our Good Morning Seoul tour. It's a little bit warmer now. Still a beautiful day, not too hot. How are you feeling, Kevin?
It's still hot, but I can feel it. Autumn is coming.
Right.
Autumn is coming. Today is the 20th of August. Next week, Friday, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. So another live YouTube live my tour is started. So hope you enjoy the next video.
That's right. See you on Friday, 6:30, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.